is Rachel Diaz, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to do the lower posterior chain and 2 of the hip flexor stretches. The first stretch is stretching the proximal hamstring. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing my foot right next to her so her foot does not go out of the sagittal plane. And then as she flexes her hip, I'm going to be going diagonally across her body, keeping my foot right next to her foot. And then I'm going to place my hand behind her hamstrings, and she's going to flex her hip as far as she can go. And then I'm going to push it a little bit to see if she can go a little bit farther. And then she's going to extend her knee as far as she can go. And then hold it. This stretches the proximal hamstring because there is a lot of hip flexion. Now going from the proximal hamstring stretch, we're going to go into the distal hamstring stretch. She's going to squeeze the quads to extend her knee, and then she's going to flex the hip going towards her chest. And I'm going to push just a little to see if she can go any farther, and I'm going to hold it. This stretches the distal hamstring because there is less hip flexion with knee extension. Getting off the distal hamstring stretch, we're going to stretch the calf muscle. I'm going to actively assist her to dorsiflex her ankle by pushing towards her knee with the balls of her feet. And then we can just hold it. Now these stretches, the proximal hamstring stretch, the calf muscle stretch, this helps with flexibility, posture, and it also helps reduce back pain and reduce any ankle injuries. These 2 next stretches are going to be stretching the hip flexors. This first stretch will stretch the iliopsoas. So what she's going to do, she's going to be on the left side of the table. She's going to lift her right leg behind her onto the table, making sure her knee is extended. Her left leg is going to be slightly bent, and to do the stretch, she's going to extend her spine until she feels a stretch in the groin. This benefits the flexibility, the range of motion, and reduces back pain. Next stretch is going to be stretching another hip flexor, the rectus femoris. We're going to start in a kneeling lunge position. We're going to attach a rope to her foot, and then she's going to pull the rope so her knee is going to be flexed. This stretches the rectus femoris because the hip is extended while the knee is flexed. The benefits of this stretch is to increase the spine stability, increase range of motion and flexibility, and also reduce lower back pain. That concludes the demonstrations of the lower portion of the posterior chain and the hip flexor stretches. To recap, to stretch the proximal hamstrings, you need to have maximum hip flexion. To stretch the distal hamstrings, you need to have some hip flexion with the knee extended. Then to stretch the calves, you will need to be in the distal hamstring stretch while the foot is dorsiflexed. Now stretching the iliopsoas, one of the hip flexors, you would need to have the hip extended while the knee is also extended. Then while stretching the rectus femoris, you would have to have the hip extended while the knee is flexed.